is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another reaction video, and you guys seem to be enjoying me reacting to NBA mock drafts. So Bleacher Report just came out with one, so we're going to be reacting to that today. So like always, I will leave a link to the article in the description below if you guys want to read this for yourself. So it's a 2020 NBA mock draft updated lottery simulation and first round predictions. This is by their lead draft guy, Jonathan Wasserman. So yeah, this was uploaded today, so we can get into this. So yeah, they did a tankathon sim. I don't know if they'll say. So it has the current lottery what is that? So that's the current standing prediction. So Memphis is in, even though they don't get their first round pick. If they were 14 anyway, it would go to Boston. But yeah, you got Portland and New Orleans in here. So the Pistons got the #1 overall pick, and they think that they would take LaMelo Ball, which I think they would too. I think they would too, just because the Detroit Pistons, they don't have a lot going for them. They have Sekou Doumbouya, they have Christian Wood, they have Luke Kennard, they have Derrick Rose, they have Blake Griffin, but I think they're not going to be good next year, obviously. I think if they do draft LaMelo Ball, they look to trade Derrick Rose, try to get maybe a mid to late first in this draft, probably try to get something in the teens. Like, I don't know if a team from like 15 to 20 will give up a first for D Rose, but you kind of look at that with maybe an open mind and try to do that. You draft LaMelo Ball, he'll sell jerseys, he'll sell tickets. He'll make you some money when you're not going to be good and you're probably going to be bad again next year. James Wiseman could be like a logical fit here. You can have him at the 5 because Blake Griffin's going to be at the 4, but who knows what you're doing with Christian Wood. Anthony Edwards could be nice because they do have a hole at small forward because Tony Snell, Bruce Brown, probably not the answer there, because they could probably move Edwards to the 3, even though maybe Luke Kennard is their starting 2, and that's where Edwards would fit more. But I think that they would go with LaMelo Ball if they were to get the #1 overall pick. I don't know if he'd be okay coming off the bench, or they would roll LaMelo at the 1 and have D Rose be the 6th man, kind of how he was this year. So I think, yeah, I agree that the Pistons would take LaMelo here at #1. Hawks taking Anthony Edwards. I do like this idea too. LaMelo Ball will not be a Hawk. I don't think you can't really have two guys that really want the ball and want to take 20 shots a game in Trey Young and LaMelo Ball. I just don't see that happening. James Wiseman doesn't make a lot of sense either because they have their starting center in Clint Capella. They also got Dwayne Dedmon, so they have their backup center for next year. They have their starting power forward in John Collins and maybe whatever position you view DeAndre Hunter to be. So they kind of need that starting shooting guard because is Kevin Huerter the answer there? I don't know. Maybe he's going to be more of like a specialized role fit off the bench throughout his career, and he can't really be a starting shooting guard, and you need somebody with some defensive potential as well. So I do agree with this pick as well, and it looks like they're just doing the lottery. They're not doing the full first round. 3, Washington taking James Wiseman. Also makes a lot of sense for who's off the board. They obviously are going to have John Wall coming back. They have Bradley Beal. They have a mixture of Hashimura, Bertans, Troy Brown Jr. at the 3/4. They can go out and sign maybe a small forward as well. But at the 5, Yal Mahimi is going to be a free agent. Probably not going to bring him back. Thomas Bryant, he's looking like that he could be a good backup center in the NBA. Don't think he could be a good starting center on a good team unless he improves his defense. But James Wiseman could be the answer there at 5. Maybe Washington would be a trade down candidate, try to get maybe another asset, as well as maybe getting a Devin Vassell or Isaac Okoro, because they were just horrible defensively this year, so they do need some defensive wing help. So maybe they would trade down, or maybe they would shock a lot of people with this pick here. But I do like the Wiseman fit. I do think they have a need at the 5, so I don't disagree with any of these first 3 picks. I think this is how each team would go. I think Detroit would definitely take LaMelo. I think Atlanta would take Anthony Edwards. And I think Washington would either trade down or probably take Wiseman. Maybe they would surprise some people, take Devin Vassell, Isaac Okoro, even Denny Avdia here. Who knows where teams are on Denny in this draft. But if I were the Wizards at 3, I'd probably go Wiseman. 4, Minnesota, Obi Toppin. I think Obi Toppin's a good fit. Pair him next to Cat. They need a power forward desperately. And if they aren't going to get like an Anthony Edwards to pair with D'Angelo Russell, this could be the way to go because LaMelo and D'Lo probably wouldn't be a great fit. So maybe Minnesota, it wouldn't be the end of the world if they if they missed out on a top 3 pick and they were able to be like, all right, we're not going to reach on Obi Toppin. We're going to take him at 4. People think he's going to go probably between the 5 and 10 range. He was the Nesmith Player of the Year. So Wooden Player of the Year. What? Well, why can't I think of this? No, it is the Nesmith Player of the Year. Okay, I was right. But yeah, I think Toppin would be a solid fit here. Like, you're looking at other guys on the board, like Isaac Okoro, Killian Hayes, Cole Anthony, Denny Avdia. Toppin might be the most logical solution here at 4 for them because they need a power forward. desperately. Like, I can't stress that enough how badly they need somebody that can actually play next to Cat. They've been looking for that player ever since Cat's been drafted, and there's been Taj Gibson, there's been Gorgie Zhang, there's just been a bunch of random players here and there at the 4, and yeah, I do like top and go to the Timberwolves here at 4. I wouldn't be totally against that. Or yeah, Halliburton as well could also be in here, but yeah, the Warriors taking Halliburton here at 5. I don't know, because you really can't put him into your starting 5, because you're not going to bump down Wiggins probably to the 4 just to have Halliburton as the 3, or as the 2, and then Clay as the 3. I'm just trying to think, who else could they take here? Could they take Onyeka Okongwu? Could they take like a Devin Vassell? Maybe, but I do think Halliburton's a very good point guard. He's a good ball handler. He's good in transition. He's a very good passer. He might be one of the best passers in this draft class. He's a smart defender. We'll see if the shot comes around in the NBA. That's definitely something to look at. But players can improve their shooting. It's kind of looking like players can improve on their shooting a lot more than they can improve on their defense. So if he's already good on the defensive side of the ball, he's a good ball handler. He has high basketball IQ. The shooting can come around. You look at a guard like Kyle Lowry. He wasn't a shooter at all coming out of Villanova. He was actually, that was one of his big negatives and his big weaknesses. But you look at him now, he's a great shooter for the Raptors. So the shooting can definitely come around if you have the right jump shot and you have the right people around you. So I wouldn't be against, I guess, Golden State taking Halliburton, but I would just definitely question the fit. He is a sophomore, so he's a little experienced, because I don't know if you want to throw a freshman on this team right away, because the Warriors are probably going to be good next year. But yeah, this would be definitely an interesting fit to see how that came around. Moving on to the next spot, we have the Cavs taking Onyeka Okongwu. I don't think that they would take Onyeka Okongwu. I think that they would take James Wiseman if they needed, if they were in the top 3, yes, but they do have Andre Drummond, they have Kevin Love, their front court is very crowded. Drummond's probably going to opt in this offseason, but he'll be an unrestricted free agent in 2021. We have no idea what the market is going to tell what his value is going to be, if he's going to be making more than $15 million a year, more than $20 million a year. I don't know who's going to be paying Andre Drummond. We'll see. A lot of teams will have cap space in 2021, so they could go Okongwu, definitely. I don't think they should take a guard. I think you stay away from R.J. Hampton, Killian Hayes, and Cole Anthony if you are the Cavs. If you like Sexton and Garland in your backcourt, could you consider Devin Vassell as your starting small forward going forward? Or Isaac Okoro or Denny Avdia? You could take more of these small forward type players, these wing players. Vassell and Okoro, a lot better defenders than probably Denny Avdia will be. But you already have your backcourt, you have your front court. If you're looking to maybe take a step next year, you maybe fill out your starting 5. I mean, I don't know if they're going to bring back Tristan Thompson, and they have Larry Nance Jr. as well in the front court, so it could be very crowded, which could maybe stump Okongwu's development, so maybe you go more of a 3 on this team. Maybe they would like Obi Toppin as well to maybe be Kevin Love's successor, but who knows if he would fall to 6. 7, New York Knicks, Cole Anthony, so they would have a bunch of options here at the point guard spot at 7. Even with Halliburton and LaMelo off the board, they could go Killian Hayes, they could go Cole Anthony like they just did, they could go R.J. Hampton, they could even think about Tyrese Maxey. I'm just giving out guards, that could be the one, and their options. But I do like Cole Anthony, probably the best, either him or Killian Hayes. I think Cole Anthony was in one of the worst scenarios in college basketball this year. UNC was kind of horrible, the system around him wasn't great, just the way players, like, it was pretty much him looking for a high pick and roll, and then if he really couldn't find anything off that, he would make a nice pass or maybe drive, but if not, he would really have to take a pull-up 3 or a pull-up long 2 with the shot clock winding down. It was just not a good system. I mean, going to New York might not be better depending on who their coach is next year, but he's a good playmaker, he's a good ball handler, he's good in transition. The athleticism is there. He does have a high ceiling, but I don't know. He could just end up being a high turnover guy, a guy who's not going to take, or he's not going to be an efficient shooter in the NBA, kind of like a point guard they just had this year, Nesmith Jr. But he was a solid 3-point shooter at UNC, and I actually think this would be a good pick for the Knicks at 7, and I think this is who I would take over Hampton and Hayes at 7. And I think if I'm the Knicks, I'm ranking point guards that could fit this team. I'm going LaMelo at 1, and then I have Cole Anthony at 2. He might not be the second best point guard in this draft, but I think when you're looking for a floor spacer, a good playmaker with the ball in his hands, I don't know. I do like Cole Anthony a lot. Bulls taking Killian Hayes here at 8. I know some people are very high on him. I do like Killian Hayes personally a lot. I think he's a top 5 player in this draft. I don't think he's the best point guard. I do think LaMelo Ball is a little bit better, but he's a very lefty-dominant guard. His shooting was up and down, but he does have a good form. And like I said about Halliburton, he could definitely improve his shooting in the NBA. He's a good ball handler, but like I said, he's very lefty-dominated. Or, yeah, lefty-dominant. He has been playing against older guys for the last 3 years in Germany, I believe. Or in Germany, yeah, he's from France, though, I think. But yeah, apparently, I was listening to the Chad Ford podcast, and he was saying how he really wanted to play in America, but his parents wanted to keep him here. I think that was Killian Hayes, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But yeah, he's extremely young still. He was born in freaking 2001, man. I'm 2 years older than some of these players now, which is kind of insane. But he's a project, but I think he could be a very good point guard in the NBA. And the Bulls, they don't really have any massive needs. Like, obviously, they're not great, but they're still developing White, Markkanen, and Carter Jr. Their best player is a shooting guard, and Killian Hayes is going to be a 1 or a 2 in the NBA, so they just spent the 7th overall pick on White. Their best player is a shooting guard, so we'll see where he would develop on this Bulls team. Maybe they would go, like I said, with the Cavs, Okoro, Vassell, or Avdia, so we'll see what happens with the Bulls here at 8. I don't know if I would take Hayes with them. I don't know if I like that fit a lot, because Kobe White looked very impressive coming on in the second half of the year. Hornets taking Denny Avdia. I think the Hornets would love to get an Okongwu or a Weisman in this draft, just because Biyombo is going to be leaving in free agency. Cody Zeller is definitely not the answer there. Neither is Billy Hernan-Gomez. But they could take Denny Avdia. I don't know if he'd be a 4 in the NBA. They just drafted P.J. Washington. They have Miles Bridges at the 3. I don't know if he's going to be their long-term answer there. He has been slightly disappointing in his first 2 years in the NBA. They could go for a guard. I would actually like R.J. Hampton for them here at 9. Hampton or Hayes, I think, because Rozier, he's got 2 years left on his deal, and he's not your franchise guard, point guard or shooting guard, wherever they're going to play him. And Devontae Graham, he's looking like he could be like a nice, I think, guard off the bench, like a 6-man type guy. I don't know if he's a guy you would want to start on a good team yet. Defense isn't there. He was very inefficient from the field. He was a good 3-point shooter, but like I said, from the field, he wasn't great. They could go Denny Avdia here. I've always butchered his name. Somebody let me know in the comments. Is it Avdia, Uvdia, or Avdida? Or Avdiha. Because I've heard a bunch of different people pronounce it differently, and even when I watch his games, I don't know, I forget it sometimes, so you guys can let me know. Coming in at pick 10, we got Isaac Okoro here. To the Suns, I think the Suns, I would like a point guard better. Maybe they do have a power forward, but I don't think Okoro is going to be a power forward in the NBA. I think this is a very weak 4 class. Then maybe they should look at one in free agency if you're the Suns, if they don't get like an Obi Toppin. But I think they should go point guard here. I think with R.J. Hampton still on the board, you would think about him. Just because Rubio has 2 years left, he's obviously not your answer. And you kind of want that long-term fit with Aiden and Booker and get that third guy. And I think they would go point guard here. I think that they should, because you already kind of have Kelly Oubre at the 3. Yeah, you could bump him down to the 4 and move Okoro to the 3, which could be a solution. I'd personally go R.J. Hampton with this pick, but Okoro's not a bad player at all. Late lottery, so coming in at 11, the San Antonio Spurs taking Patrick Williams, who's a kind of a stretch 4. He's a good defender. He was a great defender at Florida State. I'm surprised this Florida State's player is going over the next guy, Devin Vassell. I think I would take him higher than Patrick Williams just because he, I think, has more offensive potential. Speaking of Devin Vassell, and for the Spurs, actually, I'd probably go Devin Vassell here. Or I would go R.J. Hampton. I might go R.J. Hampton as a project for them. Devin Vassell to the Kings. I do like this a lot as a small forward. They have their power forward that they're still not going to give up on Marvin Bagley, who they spent the 2nd overall pick on in the 2018 draft over guys like Luka and Trey Young, and obviously all of them, SGA and Triple J. They have Rashawn Holmes, who was a nice breakout center for them this year. They do have their backcourt for now, and Fox and Hield if he asks for a trade. They're probably going to bring back Bogdanovich. They still have Barnes for a couple more years. But I think Vassell could be a nice small forward for the long term as one of the best 3-and-D guys in this class. 2 more picks here. The Pelicans taking Aaron Nesmith, who was a fantastic shooter this year for Vanderbilt. I believe he did break his foot this year, so it was an untimely injury that ended his season. But he's a good shooter, and the Pelicans, like the Bulls, they have their power forward in Zion. They have their small forward in Ingram. They have their shooting guards in Redick and Holiday for now, and Josh Hart. They have their point guard in Lonzo. They have their center in Jackson Hayes for now. So they don't really have an immediate need. You could go for maybe, I don't know. So, yeah, I think they could take really any position in this draft, and it would be okay. So, Aaron Nesmith here with a 13th pick, I think would be fine for them. And Portland taking R.J. Hampton. I think that they would love to get Aaron Nesmith or Devin Vassell here at 14. A wing player that could defend but really shoot. But, yeah, I think R.J. Hampton, I mean, this is a guy who's probably going to be a combo, or is going to be a 1 or a 2. I don't know if he could ever be a small forward in the NBA, especially playing him with Lillard and McCollum. So, we'll have to wait and see on that. But I don't know if I think he would go higher than 14. But I guess we'll see. And I guess for on the board, this is pretty good value for the Blazers. So I'm not disagreeing with that pick. And oh wait, they do go through the rest of the first round. Okay. So 15, they have Tyrese Maxey going to Orlando. I do like that. I think that they do need kind of any offensive help they can get. So maybe Maxey wouldn't be bad there. They have Chuma Okeke going to be coming back next year. We'll see if Evan Fournier, he'll probably opt in to be an unrestricted free agent in 2021. Fultz was pretty solid this year, so I could definitely see them going with a guard here in Tyrese Maxey. Minnesota does have 2 first-round picks in this draft from the Robert Covington trade, and Saddiq Bey would actually be a nice kind of forward for them, a scoring forward off the bench that can play some defense, does have some potential there, and is a good shooter. He's strong, he's big, and I think he would be a pretty solid player for the Timberwolves if they were to get him with the 16th pick. So in this draft, they're going to end up with Obi Toppin and Saddiq Bey. Not bad whatsoever. Boston here via Memphis, Josh Green, a raw prospect, a raw wing player out of Arizona, and they could definitely, I think they're going to definitely trade one of their picks just because they have so many players on the roster. They want to save money. So I don't think they're going to make all 3 first-round picks because they do have one from the Grizzlies, their pick, and one from Milwaukee. But I think they would keep probably the most valuable one here in 17, and Josh Green could be a potential wing for them. They're probably going to want a big man, maybe a center or a power forward. I don't know who would be the best kind of option here. I don't know if they would target Isaiah Stewart, but Isaiah Stewart, I don't know if he'll go in the top 20. Leandro Bolmaro, Dallas, taking a foreign player here with the 18th pick. He's 6'6", 19-year-old. He shot 28% from 3. Don't know much about him, so I'm not going to act like I do, but he could, I don't know if he fits that mold for them, but he doesn't look like he's a shooter. He's more of a shooting guard kind of height, and now he could, I guess, play some small forward, but he's extremely young, and who knows if he'll come over right away. Precious Achiuwa from Memphis. I always said Achiuwa, but I figured out it's Achiuwa now. He is going to be, he's a power forward. He played like a little bit of small forward at Memphis. His best position might be at a center, like a versatile kind of free safety center, because his defense is kind of the main like focus point on him. He's a great defender. It's just he doesn't have the best offensive potential at the moment, or just offensive skill, so they'll need to work on him. But Milwaukee would probably love him. And then the Brooklyn Nets taking Jalen Smith from Maryland. They do desperately need a power forward. Who knows who that's going to be next year, so that would be a nice fit for them. Nico Mannion, oh no, we're going to have Theo Maledon going to Denver here at 21. They do have their 2 point guards at the moment with Jamal Murray and Monte Morris, so maybe they would go for more of a power forward because Jeremy Grant might opt out. Paul Millsap's getting up there in age. They might look for a big, potentially, so I don't know if they would take a point guard size shooting guard, but Gary Harris looking like he's kind of peaking as a player. We don't know what he's going to be, so maybe they would like to draft somebody that could maybe end up being better than him in the future. Tyro Terry from Stanford going to the Sixers here at pick 22 via the Thunder. He's a good shooter. Yeah, you can see 41% from 3, about 89% from the line, and he had about a 59% true shooting. He is a smaller guard, but if he could be a shooter, that's what Philly needs, and off the bench, he'd be solid. Kira Lewis, I think he might go in the top 20. He's a very quick, good ball handler, good in transition, scoring point guard. So I don't know. I think that would be a steal for Miami. I think he would honestly be a better player than Kendrick Nunn. But I don't think he falls to 23. I think he goes a little bit higher. Aleksej Pokusevski. Don't know much about him like Bolmaro, so I'm not going to act like I do. But the Jazz couldn't use another backup big to Rudy Gobert. They do have Bojan kind of at the 4, so they could use another power forward. And obviously their backup centers, Ed Davis, was injury prone this year, wasn't great. And Tony Bradley's looking like he's not going to be that good of an NBA player, so they could use somebody. OKC taking Jamius Ramsey from Texas Tech. Kind of like Jarrett Culver, he's a good shooter, he's a good scoring 2-guard, and he's a very similar player to Jarrett Culver. I believe probably not as good of a defender, but he could be a nice scoring player for OKC, who, I mean, they're technically rebuilding, even though they're kind of retooling, so I don't know if they would want to spend their first-round pick on kind of their most loaded position, which is guard at the moment, with Hamidou Diallo, Shai Gilgeous, Chris Paul, and Dennis Schroeder. I don't know why I said Diallo first, so they have a big hole at small forward, and then power forward if Gallo leaves, so maybe they would look for a forward with like Tyler Bay on the board here. Zeke Naji going to the Celtics here at 26. Yeah, he's another center, and Vernon Carey I forgot to mention as well. Yeah, I think the Celtics could take a center here, and I think they definitely would after who they got before. They got Josh Green. Knicks taking Nico Mannion. I don't think that happens if they do take like a Cole Anthony or LaMelo Ball in the top 10. I just don't see them taking another point guard with Frank on roster. Who knows if they're going to bring back Alfred Payton. Dennis Smith Jr. is still under contract, so I don't see them taking 2 point guards. I think they can go for more of a small forward / power forward guy here. Toronto taking Jaden McDaniels. Like, I could see the Knicks taking a flyer on him. Potential is kind of the big thing. He's a 6'9", 6'10" power forward who can kind of space the floor, but he's not a good ball handler. He's turnover prone, and who knows if his shooting is going to translate. He's a very hit or miss. He's a boomer bust prospect. Lakers taking Trey Jones. They need kind of a veteran guy, and Trey Jones is only a sophomore, but he has pretty much been a veteran at Duke. I don't think he's going to be some huge scorer in the NBA, but he could be a nice floor general off the bench. High basketball IQ, can play some defense. It's kind of what the Lakers need. And then at 30, Celtics taking Isaiah Stewart, who I mentioned before. Another center, but like I said, I don't think they keep all 3 picks. If there is a bet on draft night, I'm going to be taking that they don't end up making 3 first-round selections. I think that they trade out of definitely, I think this pick. Like, some team's going to want to buy back into the first round, and they'll take, I don't know, maybe a future second, or they might trade this one right here and just try to get a future first, so who knows. But yeah, that is going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you agree with or disagree with in the comments, or yeah, in the comment section below. I don't know why I was like, what? Comment section? But no, that's what it's called. I've been doing this long enough. I should know that. And then let me know anything else you want me to react to in the comments as well. Daily uploads here on the second channel. There will not be, obviously this is going to be uploaded when you think the 2000 franchise will be. 2000 franchise will be on Saturday this week with our new team. I'm going to make sure all the logos are right, all the years pro are right, and hopefully all the courts and jerseys are right. Everything's going to be right for this upcoming episode, where I think we're going through the 2013 to 14 season, so be on the lookout for that with our new team. That'll be out on Saturday, and then we'll have daily uploads all this week. So thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.